Alright boys, if you want to lock in and make millions of coins in Madden 25, then you need to try out MUT Exchange. MUT Exchange is the best all-in-one Madden coin making tool service on the market right now. They got a bunch of different and unique tools on their platform that will allow you to save millions of coins as well as make so much bread. I've been playing around with MUT Exchange for a few days now, and my current favorite tool is the Snipe Spotter. How this works right here, snipes are going to pop up, you buy them, you sell them, you make coins, repeat. Yeah, you're seeing that right. Cards that are currently being posted up to the auction house that MUT Exchange views as a snipeable price are coming up into this filter. You search for these cards, you buy the cards, you sell them off. They literally have a dashboard of every single profitable set. If you do want to try out MUT Exchange, go down to the link in my description and use code MOSHI for 5% off your order. And once again, shout out MUT Exchange.
What is good, fellas, and hope you boys are all having a fantastic day. Today we're talking about the best abilities and superstar X factors you need to be using today on your team. When it comes to this video, we do like to update it at the start of every single month. Reason being, we are constantly getting new promos, new cards, new gimmicks during these promos, a bunch of new discounted abilities, and because of this, the meta is always switching up. Last time we recorded this video in January, I said that abilities are starting to become more of a thing that matter. As of now, the top tier cards in the game, they are going to have the top tier discounted abilities. You guys will also notice that defenses, they play better. Defense is better when Madden has good abilities in it. I'd say right now is the best gameplay-wise we have had in MUT all year. We all know how hard it is to get a stop in this game. I don't think that is groundbreaking news for anybody, but with defensive abilities, it actually makes it a good time. Anytime gameplay is balanced, you guys know I am going to be a fan of it. With that all said, let's talk about the best abilities you need to be rocking out on your quarterback today. When it comes to the best abilities on your quarterback, it really hasn't changed up much over the last few weeks. You're going to want to have Gunslinger. Gunslinger grants faster passing animations with your quarterback. If you didn't know, every single quarterback has a different release. Some releases are slower than others. If you give yourself Gunslinger on your quarterback, it makes them throw the ball significantly faster. It also puts more velocity on your balls. Say it like that, you might need a pause, but either way, Gunslinger is by far the best quarterback ability in this game. Far behind it, we have Hot Route Master and Master Tack. Hot Route Master grants 4 additional hot routes to every single position. This is the reason we are not going to have any apprentices on this video, so wide receiver apprentice, running back apprentice, or tight end apprentice. At this point, every quarterback you will be using will have Hot Route Master, and you need to use Hot Route Master. If you want to go one step up from Hot Route Master, there is an ability called Master Tack in the game. Master Tack will grant those same hot routes as well as a quicker playmaker reaction. I'm 99% sure Conductor is also baked into Master Tack. Will cost you 1 additional AP, but in my opinion, that 1 AP is well spent by using Master Tack over Hot Route Master. If you want to have a competitive team in this game, you need to be using a quarterback with at least Gunslinger and then a combination of Master Tack or Hot Route Master. A few more abilities I like on quarterbacks, one being Gift Wrap. If you do have an extra AP on your offense, I don't hate the idea of using Gift Wrap. Higher chances to complete passes to uncovered targets. It just makes it so there are less drops in the game. We all know how annoying drops are, and having something for 1 AP that can, we'll call it nerf it, on your field, if you can afford it, it's definitely worth it. Fiend Lead is the last ability I want to talk about. As of right now, it's just a little bit too expensive to actually consider using it. By the time we get to March, I have a feeling we're going to have more set Feet Lead quarterbacks at a discount, so then we'll probably talk about it in March, but during February, I'd probably stay away from this one. When it comes to the X Factors on your quarterbacks, as of right now, we do have these Super Bowl X Factors currently in the game. If you're watching this video after the Super Bowl promo, you missed a really good time. When it comes to the best ones to use, I am still a big fan of Gambit. I like Dots. I like Bazooka. I like Run and Gun. Omaha is disgustingly broken. Any of those 4 right there, and you will be totally fine with an X Factor on your quarterback. X Factors aren't nearly as good as abilities, so if it seems like I'm skipping over the X Factor portions, they're just not as good as they used to be. So let's talk wide receiver. If there's one position group you do not need to have abilities on, it is going to be your wide receivers. Like I said, we have Hot Route Master and Master Tack basically on every quarterback nowadays, so you do not need to run wide receiver apprentice, slot apprentice, outside apprentice on any of your wide receivers. But still consider those abilities very good because having extra hot routes, it's what you want to do to have a competitive offense in this game. But again, every quarterback has those 2 abilities, so we don't really need to talk about it. 2 abilities though that I am a big fan of when it comes to the wide receiver position. First one going to be Slot-O-Matic, better cuts and catching on short slot routes. if you have a slot wide receiver like Cooper Kupp, you need to be running Slot-O-Matic. Also a fan of Route Tech, but similar to Set Feet Lead, it's just a little bit too expensive on majority of wide receivers. Get a Twisted, a very good ability, just a little bit too expensive right now. Get the Tank when we get to running backs, but I don't hate the idea of running Tank on wide receivers, but again, a little bit too expensive. No wide receivers have it at a real discount. Card like OBJ's aka Icon does have Double Me, which is an X Factor doubling in as an ability here. There are a few other wide receivers that get something similar to this in the game. As of right now, and from what I've seen, it's not as crazy as it was in Madden 24 quite yet. If you understand that one, you understand how broken up Yak 'em Up and Rack 'em Up were last year. Not at that point yet, but just know some wide receivers, they will have X Factors doubling in as ability. If I forget to talk about Jukebox again, which there's a very good chance I will forget to talk about it, I don't hate the ability, especially if you can get it on your cards for free. At least in the start of February, EA has been giving us a bunch of cards with free Jukebox, and if you can toss that on a wide receiver or a running back, I don't hate it at all. Tight ends are very similar to wide receivers, which you don't need to run abilities on them. In order to show our tight ends some love, let's talk about some X Factors. These are going to double in for tight ends and wide receivers. As soon as we get Vanguard as an ability, tight end abilities will become more usable. As of right now, we don't have Vanguard. If you know Vanguard, you know it is going to be fun. When it comes to abilities running on your tight ends and wide receivers, I don't hate the idea of running Double Me, especially if you do have one of the glowing Double Me's. I like the idea of Rack 'em Up. I like the idea of Yak 'em Up. Besides that, nothing right here is too special. Of course, we do have Vanguard. We talked about Vanguard as an ability. It is very good as an X Factor. It's just better as an ability. The way the meta is kind of lining up right now, you want to toss a lot of your AP on your quarterback and then maybe some on your offensive line. Because of that, tight end and wide receiver abilities, they're just not something you necessarily need to use all of the time. Let's talk running backs really quickly because there are some running back abilities I do like in the game. The big one for me, it is going to be Tank. Tank will break hit stick tackles every single time. This ability on paper is broken. If your opponent does not realize you have Tank on your running back and they just keep hit staking you, you are going to get some silly animations. I mean silly, I mean you're going to get hit stick 6 times, you're going to break all 6 hit sticks and then run for a 75-yard touchdown. This is a must-have ability if you can fit it into your offense. Other ability I don't hate running on your running back is going to be Human Joystick. If you run the ball on conservative, you should have this on your running back. Quicker turning and change of directions make your running back feel a little bit more fluid out there. If you run the ball on conservative for the entirety of the game, you need to have Human Joystick on your running back. Besides that, there really isn't anything too crazy. You can go with the Jukebox, but for 1 AP, it's not really worth it. Of course, we have Hot Route Master on all of our quarterbacks, so you don't need Backyard Halfback. Or Running Back Apprentice, Backyard Halfback is just better than Running Back Apprentice. Either way, you don't need to run either of them on your running backs. Let's talk offensive line, because as of right now, running abilities on your offensive line, it's actually a very good thing to be doing. There are a ton of offensive linemen in this game that will have 0 AP abilities. Hence, free or 0 AP is the best abilities in the game. When it comes to offensive line abilities, I think you really can't go wrong for the most part with any of these. Right now, I do think Secure Protector is the best ability you could be running on your guards and centers. Also like a post up right there as well. Protector has stronger protections versus quick block shed moves, and post up is dominant when engaged in double teams. Edge Protector is slowly creeping its way back up. You're going to run Edge Protector on your tackles. The reason Edge Protector is slowly getting better, more cards are getting Edge Threat and Edge Threat Elite at a discount, and Edge Protector is the instant counter to it. If you don't have a Edge Protector tackle, those defensive linemen are going to shred when they have Edge Threat or Edge Threat Elite. Protector is very good due to that loop blitz we have. It highlights blitzes during pre-play on 3rd and 4th down. You can see where your opponent is blitzing on key blocking downs and adjust your scheme accordingly. And the final offensive line ability I like right now is going to be Identifier. This highlights what defender your opponent is usering on. It can only help knowing exactly where your opponent is standing on the field. Let's slide on over to defense now, and let's kick it off with defensive tackles. When it comes to X factors on your defensive line, by far the best one is going to be Unstoppable Force. Line stuff is very good right here. It's just very situational, and I do like Secure Tackler, but again, it's a little bit situational, especially on your defensive tackles. When it comes to abilities on my DTs, there is only one that I like right now, and it is going to be Inside Stuff. This is the counter to every single inside zone run play. They have to double team your defensive tackle if they want any chance of stopping it. And when they do that, it frees up somebody else on your defensive line to go out there and make a play. Study is another ability that I like. It shows offensive plays after repeated play call. This is one one of those abilities on defense that pretty much every player can get. You can fit it into your defensive scheme. I don't hate it at all. You can literally see what play your opponent is running. On paper, it's a little bit broken. On the field, it's broken. Nothing is very good, but it's a little bit better on defensive ends. When it comes to DTs, you really just need to run inside stuff. Let's get to edge rushers because, fellas, edge rushers, it might be time to start running abilities on them. First up, X factors, very similar to your defensive tackles. I'm gonna like unstoppable force. I'm going to like secure tackler. I might even like a run stuffer depending on how you play your defensive scheme. And when it comes to the actual abilities, double or nothing has been one of the best defensive abilities we have had in the game all year. To the new Super Bowl cards, do get that at a discount. Edge threat and edge threat elite are coming up next. Edge threat elite is going to be better than typical edge threat, but as of right now, more players have discounted edge threat than edge threat elite. Under pressure is another defensive line ability that I like, but it is a little bit too expensive. Same concept goes for no outsiders, but there are a few defensive linemen that do get no outsiders for free nowadays. This will counter every stretch run and every RPO that you ever go against. Outside zone RPOs, if you know, you know, this will definitely help with that. Now let's talk about the best abilities in the game, and those are going to be defensive back and safety abilities. In the beginning of the video, we talked about how the gameplay is more balanced, how we are able to get more stops in the game. And the big reason for all of that are going to be these things called KOs. We have mid-zone KO, we have deep zone KO, we got deep out zone KO, we got short KOs, we got flat zone KOs. We have a bunch of different KOs. Now, what do these KOs do? They give improved reactions and catch knockouts in mid-zone KOs for whatever zone they are assigned to. Zone KO, for example, is the best one. This basically knocks out everything in the mid-zone area. Defensive backs, this is definitely the one to be running. Don't hate the idea of running it on linebackers as well. On the topic of safeties, and I guess we're just on a safety that has it, secure tackler, I don't hate this on your strong or free safeties. Do not need to run it on your defensive backs. Now back to the KOs quickly. Ranking, I guess, of order of which I would recommend you guys run KOs on cornerbacks and DBs. It switches up slightly, but I still think mid-zone is by far the best. I like the idea of running deep zone on either free safeties or strong safeties. We then have these things called flat zone and short zone. Do not run those on strong safeties, but you can run them on DBs. Other side of the KOs, we have these man KOs. I personally think zone KOs are better, but if you do run a lot of man coverage, the man KOs are definitely what you should be rocking out with. I had to rank them from best to worst. We're gonna go with mid route KO, which is medium coverage. We got deep route KO, which we are currently on. Can you guess what that improves knockouts in? And I would go with short route KO. I do think the zone KOs are just a little bit better. Obviously, pick artist is still very good. This gives better catching and improves stamina on interception returns. How many times do your defensive backs drop interceptions? Pick artist is completely made to counter that. Inside shade and outside shade are two of the newer abilities that are making this top tier list for your secondary. You're gonna want to run these on defensive backs, not safeties, but they give faster reactions to receivers cutting inside, and then for outside shade, cutting outside. This in theory should help counter route techs and slot-o-matics. When it comes to the abilities, the best one to be running is universal coverage. Here's every single KO all tied up into one. With the Super Bowl promo going on and the start on X Factors, universal coverage is a very good time. Super Bowl cornerback Dion does get universal coverage as an ability for 3 AP. Once the Super Bowl promo is wrapped up, I'm going to try to find a way to fit that onto my defense because universal coverage is objectively broken. Last position group we have to talk about today is going to be linebackers. When it comes to rushing or outside linebackers, you're going to want to use the same ability stack as the defensive ends. When it does come to users, the best one to be rocking out today with is going to be lurk artist. Realistically, this is the only thing I think you need to run on your middle linebackers. You can toss on a mid-zone KO. A lot of linebackers that are top tier get it for 1 AP or free. It's exactly what the DBs, mid-zone KO will do for them. You can toss it on your linebacker and it will make some plays for you. Don't want to forget, clutch kicker on your kickers is the best kicking ability to use. Every time we make these ability lists, I never talk about the kickers. Clutch kicker, immunity to the ice the kicker effect. This is the one you are going to want to use. Icing the kicker is super annoying, especially on those higher ranked games, like head-to-head ranked. If you have the clutch kicker ability, you don't have to worry about icing the kicker at the end of the game. Football is a possession game, and well, kicking the last second field goal to win the game, of course your opponent can ice you, but clutch kicker completely removes that for you. Well said, boys, is going to be everything we have today. If you guys did enjoy this video, go in there and drop a like. We're currently on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so if you did enjoy this video or you learned something new, go in there and hit the sub button. I'll get you boys back here tonight with another banger, I promise. But until then, peace, gents. Have a good one.